When it comes to the legislative agenda, now in this show and today we're talking to someone that you've been working with a bit, Congressman John Katko, a Republican of New York, and he signed on to some legislation that has passed in a Democratic-controlled Congress. I'm just interested in, legislatively, when you look at both what's passed and what the horizon is, what is on your agenda being most important?
Well, I look at, I think the holistic viewpoint, just funding these programs is not enough. I'm very concerned about the impact that addiction has on our youth. So making sure that we have those wraparound services in schools. I introduced legislation to save education jobs to make sure that as districts are thinking about their next steps, they are not cutting social workers and guidance counselors and therapists, all of those people who deliver services on the ground at school, that for many of our young people, that's the only place they're getting them. I introduced legislation to make sure that we are increasing funding on college campuses to make sure that there is access to addiction and recovery services. Just making sure that those things are available in our communities. I think oftentimes when we think about addiction or mental health, we think about just the person or the person that is affected. I want to make sure that we are also addressing the needs of the families and children that are affected by addiction, by mental health, by recovery. All of those people who showed up in my classroom and quite frankly, were me as a young girl. So I want to make sure that we're looking at this in a very holistic way to address the needs of our young people and the people who are impacted as a result of a family member or a loved one being dependent. And also, I think equally as important, to make sure that we are legislating in a way that recognizes that addiction and mental health are health issues. Those are medical issues that we have to address just as we would any other health condition.